up high like there's something there, but I'm just searching for the unknown.
What's up, everybody, and welcome to the Big Bang Theory After Show live here at thestream.tv. I'm Adam Kruger. We're live right now, so invite your friends to join in on the discussion. Amy broke Sheldon, and with me to talk about that here to my left is...
Lexi, hi.
And to my right...
Hi, I'm Tia. Good to see you.
So, geez, guys, Amy broke Sheldon tonight. Like, completely, he's done,
Yes.
he's finished, he's broken. We need to fix the robot somehow.
It's a really good comparison.
He seems to not be able to let go of this breakup. In the first, thing that we see of him, he's on Skype with Amy right away, and she's like, dude, you can't seem to figure this out. This is a breakup.
I don't think he has, he doesn't know how to deal with this situation. It's like, he never thought he was going to be in a relationship in the first place, and now that he's broken up with someone and she kind of dropped this on him, he has no idea how to deal with it. It's like a kid learning that the toy is not just his, and he has to like let it go and play with other people.
So it's like a juvenile reaction.
Exactly.
And so he's like showing up at her door, just
Yes.
just like hi Amy, let's try to make you jealous.
Yeah.
He's grasping at straws, obviously.
Oh yeah, it's like when you have like a baby book when you're younger, and they're like your first steps, your first this. This is his first everything.
Right.
So to me, it's like very normal. But he's progressing. I definitely notice an improvement in him in many ways. But he's still clearly juvenile in it. But there is improvement.
Definitely.
He's been really mean. You guys have noticed that he's really. I mean, he's taken this to a whole other level.
Bitter.
Really.
I think
Bitter is a good word to describe it as
and
well.
I think it's also the growing pains of it. I think he's like doing the juvenile thing. He's doing the being on the playground, pulling on her ponytails. Like that's how he thinks he's going to get her back. Is kind of that young kid sort of way. He's never had to deal with it at that age, so this is how he's dealing with it now.
That's a good point.
Absolutely.
I mean, this is his first relationship, which, I mean, if you could call it that. I mean, the guy.
It's a relationship.
It's definitely a relationship.
At least he has a relationship.
Well, but I mean, I think to this point, I think they've held hands, they've kissed like a couple times, and they've been together.
No coitus.
No, that's the rule. But it's interesting to watch. Sheldon go through this range of emotions. I feel.
Yeah,
Definitely.
Absolutely. It's interesting to see Sheldon go through anything.
Right.
To be honest, but yeah, absolutely.
I love the storyline. I think it's something that we all deal with in our lives. I think we've all been there when we've had to deal with these breakups that come out of nowhere, maybe, and you don't know, what it was like not to have that person in your life. That's what Sheldon's going through. He's never had, since he's been with Amy, he's not had her not been in his life. So I think this is showing him how much happiness she brings him, how much she's brought to his life, and he's figuring that out now.
I think that's totally true. I think that's a really good point. I mean, Sheldon up until this point has really just been a scientist and very surgical. I want to say
very
like,
surgical.
Kind of,
Absolutely.
like sterile. And so I think that Amy's finally brought out some emotion in him, which is a really beautiful thing, even though it's coming out in such an ugly way. I'd like to kind of maybe move over to, we've said it, he's never experienced a breakup. He's pushes people away from himself in real life and doesn't seem to ever have time for anybody but his own thing. And then now that he's kind of broken up, he's meddling in other relationships. He's got opinions about everything. He's very anti-woman at the moment.
Yes.
Extremely.
Even in the dream sequence in the beginning, he meddles right away in Howard and Penny's relationship.
Right.
Like, even though it was in the dream, I mean, like, Leonard knows him. Like, that's who he really is.
Right.
So that was hilarious.
Saying he's going to save his best friend's relationship and then making out with Penny.
Yeah, I was going to say, back to when you were mentioning how he doesn't, they kissed only a few times, him and Amy. The kiss with Sheldon and Penny was priceless.
Yes.
Like, he even grabbed her butt. You put her leg up.
Yeah, so, and if by the way, if you didn't know at that point that it was a dream sequence, then you've never seen the show before.
Yeah, I was like,
there's no way that Sheldon would do that. But it was still
no.
so much fun to watch that moment.
I wonder if that'll ever replaying life with Amy. I don't know if she'd be. I don't know. That was like risque.
You know what? You know what? That brings up a good point. You never know.
Yeah.
Maybe if he does get her back, maybe he'll appreciate her and finally take it to the next level on a physical side of
Slap
things.
the butt. Yeah.
Right.
Well, I don't know if he's going to slap any butt so quickly. He's still new at this, but maybe he'll actually move from kissing to hugging.
Yeah.
Being a little more effective.
A little more contact.
From spooning to forking. No.
One thing I want to talk about as well too is he's trying to get her back. We know this, right? But it's the way that he does it. Instead of what normal people do, because again, it comes back to the growing pains. He does his episode of Fun with Flags, which he refers to as their baby that they made together.
Yes.
And so Fun with Flags happens, and then Sheldon decides to basically just air their dirty laundry on the internet, and I mean. Let's talk about that for a second.
Well, yeah, the best is that it starts out, and I think I thought he was just gonna talk about all women as a whole, because that's like how we kind of introduced it. And then later on, he clearly just makes Amy each country or flag that he's speaking of and just ripping her apart. And I mean, some of his comments were incredible. Like, it was hilarious.
It's like a kid playing with dolls, like Ken and Barbie. He's just going back and forth as like puppets. It was like, that was his thing, is his going back and forth.
I love when she goes... Oh, continue.
No.
I know. I love like one of the things he said, because she brings it up. She's like, "How dare you compare my genitalia to Czechoslovakia?"
which is brilliant in and of itself, because I guess Czechoslovakia is an insult.
Yeah.
I have roots there.
You are? Okay.
Comparing the genitalia to any country.
I guess so. Yeah, because that means a lot of people have been there, and millions, and that's I guess that's that could be considered.
Czechoslovakia apparently gets around, so I don't know.
Apparently. So here's the thing though. He does, like, he airs their dirty laundry, and as funny as it was in this situation, it was really like venomous the way he went about it.
Very venomous.
And it was not even veiled. I mean, it was obvious. I mean, he even says at one point, he goes, everything that my girlfriend used to do can now be handled by my right hand.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, obviously we all got the double entendre, but I mean, that's seriously, just basically like,
And he had no idea what he was saying.
Exactly.
Like, I don't think he realized what he was referring to, which made it even more hilarious.
He was just thinking, oh, I can do this all by myself. I don't need her.
Yeah.
But that's, not exactly what everyone else is thinking.
Oh, yeah.
No,
it was so great.
In a real breakup, that reduces a woman to something that we don't want to do.
Exactly.
So.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Well, feminist. Hi.
Continue, actually.
So the Fun with Flags, obviously at the end, you see he catches a lot of grief for it. Amy comes up and she just yells at him, and that's when it's really revealed that he's trying to get her back, and he has no idea how to do it. So to me, this is where my heart kind of went out to him, because he doesn't know what to do, and he just really wants to get her back, and I'm really curious to see how this is going to continue on and where he's going to go with it. But at the end of the day, I think it's safe to say that Sheldon is as mean and as lost as ever.
Oh, completely. But one of the best things is he thinks he's getting her back because she watched the show.
Right.
That's the bet. She watched it. She wants me.
Right.
And then what was the other one? She's listening by the door. I got this girl. Like, the way he thinks about things is priceless.
Exactly. And the funny thing is that he actually sent her the link to watch it, because he knew it was going to make her mad.
And he did find a way to get her to watch it.
Yeah.
So Sheldon's lost. Let's move on. Let's move on real quick, because I want to talk about fixing marriage and bromance.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
Let's talk about this here. So basically, Leonard and Penny are dealing with stuff. I've seen them called Lenny before, which
Lenny.
is Lenny, Leonard and Penny, which is better than Pennard.
Pennard.
We don't want Pennard.
But Lenny just sounds like a third person in the relationship.
It's like To Kill a Mockingbird. But so weird reference. So Leonard and Penny, they're having issues obviously right after marriage, and Leonard, we see him basically calling for therapy, which makes sense because his mother is a psychologist, right?
Yeah.
So he's doing that, and he's asking questions, and everything's too expensive. Let's talk about too expensive for therapy in a marriage.
He wants a Groupon, as he told Penny when he popped in. He was looking for the therapy. Do they even have therapy Groupons? Have you guys ever dabbled? I'd actually personal.
No, I wouldn't say I've dabbled, but
I've
Groupon
dabbled.
has everything. So
yeah.
Dabbled. I've full on been in therapy.
Yeah.
I'll just go there.
No, me too. Not for marriage.
No.
Gotta get a boyfriend first.
But seriously, let's kind of talk about this for a second, because when you're in a serious relationship and you're trying to fix things and you're going to look at therapy, I mean, you'd think that maybe no cost would be no issue, especially for a scientist, you know. Although we don't know
he
what his
doesn't make a
salary
lot
is.
of
He
money,
obviously is not wealthy, but you know.
But also, I think they haven't really talked to each other. They've been in separate apartments. They've been, you know, completely separated this for the last umpteen hours or whatever.
Yeah.
So he's trying to figure out any sort of way to get connected to her. So I think just them coming together and talking was all they needed.
And also, I think he's such a logical thinker because he is so smart that I don't even know. For me, it wasn't as much about the cost. It was like him logically thinking, is the cost worth the service? And I know in your opinion,
this is what I'm saying.
I know in your opinion, of course, but I think what he was thinking was just too logical because he's a brainiac. He's very smart. I don't think he was thinking it was worth what he was going to get out of it, in his opinion.
According to Sheldon, he's not very smart. But, but you know, here's the thing. I find it interesting that he's looking for therapy, and then in the end, he ends up going to Mandy, the source of the issue, to talk about it.
Right.
And he just totally, you know, does the therapy thing across the table from her, and he does actually figure things out. But I think that that's going to come back to bite him in the butt later. What do you think?
I can see that biting him in the butt if Penny does find out that he came up with his grand conversation about how they're going to solve everything from the girl that started the whole conversation. But I don't know. I just love that sequence because he brought up the mom, he brought up the dreams, like the stereotypical topics in therapy where you don't even let the therapist talk. You just figure things out while you're talking to yourself.
Which was great because she didn't really even want to hear it. So she was acting like a therapist. She was just kind of like, you're gonna do this right here, right now? Okay, well.
Which leads me to, I mean, and it brings up another thing too, because this, you know, she's obviously monumentally important because it's about to break up his relationship.
Right.
And she doesn't even remember that it happened. Her line was, "Oh, did I sleep with you too?"
That sounds perfect.
And so I thought that was, you know, that was really interesting because
go ahead.
No, please.
They're taking it so seriously where she she doesn't even remember having an interaction with him.
Not even close.
But it's almost a metaphor for Leonard's life prior to Penny, because all these guys put these women on pedestals and overthought everything that they were thinking about them, when in retrospect, the girls weren't thinking anything.
Yeah.
And it's kind of sad.
This is what it is. Yeah. So he does, you know, Leonard figures out that he's trying to sabotage things, and, you know, they kind of, you know, have that out, and he basically says, you know, I still don't feel like I deserve you, which is, you know, your heart kind of goes out to him, even though he's a bit of a knob sometimes, you know, you still feel for him in that moment.
Of course.
Because he's still stuck in that past vision of himself, even though he's grown so much.
Yeah.
And then there's the fallout from all this, where we've got, you know, this bromance between Raj and Howard, where I know this is a weird segue.
But I love it.
But, you know, they're talking about it, and Raj is more upset with Howard that he didn't tell him than the fact that, Leonard has an issue.
Oh, right.
And so we have to talk about the bromance for a second.
Absolutely. Well, I mean, this comes a little later into the bromance, but their jokes, that part of their bromance, their sense of humor is impeccable.
Right.
Like, I want to SpongeBob her SquarePants. Like, the way they communicate for their bromance is just nerdy in the best possible way.
Yes.
That it's like they're perfect
as
a bromance, you know?
And most of the time, I find that with these things, like they do it where you know, you have them interacting in this beautiful way, but they actually explicitly refer to each other as spouses almost.
Yes.
Right.
Where Howard basically, you know, says, "You think it's hard with one wife, imagine having two."
Yeah.
So,
exactly.
So the bromance is alive and well, and there's issues with obviously this thing, which bleeds out again into Bernadette finding out about it a long time ago, and then she has to hide it, which was hilarious as well.
Yeah.
Right.
You
With
found
her
this funny,
wine.
Tia.
Yeah, it was. I think it was hilarious. Her comments about their relationship, and Penny's asking her opinion, and she's like, "Well, I don't know. I've just heard about it. You know, I have nothing to say." And then her last comment, which made a lot of sense, and she was like, "Oh, I just thought about that right this minute."
It was
you know,
brilliant.
it was
But clearly she thought about it. Like, the whole past 2 years, she knew about it or whatever it was.
So in the end, love wins, right?
Love wins.
Love wins.
Hashtag
Love
love
wins.
wins.
We've got bromance. We've got Leonard and Penny.
Yes.
They've gotten back
Yes,
together.
yes, yes.
Everything's
Love
happy. He says, will you please stay married to me? Which was beautiful.
Oh, we got that.
And
Penny has a last name.
right, she finally has a last name. So let's go to our favorite Sheldonisms of the episode. I think Lexi, you had the first one.
So I mentioned this earlier. on about when he was trying to get her back with the knocking on the door. But the best, in my opinion, the Sheldonism was he's so compulsive with his knock ritual.
Yes.
And he didn't do it. To me, that was a huge moment where I noticed how much he truly cares about this girl, because to break a compulsion that you've done your entire life,
Right.
that's not easy. And he literally like thought about it, and he did knock, and then he took it away, and he didn't even say her name, let her open the door.
Right.
Even though he claimed at the end, she's like, you just did that so I would open the door to see who was there. I think he did it like as a way of improving himself. But
Yes.
That's my opinion.
And like he said, my thing was that, you know, she doesn't get to have his eccentricities anymore. You know, they're not friends with benefits.
Oh,
And
yes.
he has no idea what that means. He's just heard it. He's watched the movies, whatever. But
Yeah.
the fact that he says we're not friends with benefits, I think is hilarious.
Absolutely,
I think
absolutely.
I think it's funny because he also is basically playing it as if these eccentricities of his are something that people like,
Oh.
and they don't. Nobody likes his
No.
things. And he does finally end up actually knocking on the table and then going
On the way out.
And tables are good too.
Baby steps. He has to take
Yes.
baby steps.
So
okay?
the last one that I want to do before we throw to commercial real quick is when he tries to make Amy jealous with a bra. Now,
Oh.
this is not a Sheldonism because Sheldon, I don't think, knows even what a bra is for, let alone like he's ever seen one before this. But I think it's a Sheldonism because he's trying to do something that it's so over his head and
Right.
he doesn't know what to do, and so that's why that was my favorite Sheldonism
Yes.
of
That
the
was great.
night. Guys, we'll be right back with some live fun questions right after these quick little messages.
Just in case you missed it live.
In case you missed it live.
In case you missed it live.
In case you missed it live, this is for you.
I love it. That was freaking love it.
Oh my God.
I didn't see any of this coming. Yeah, I'm not even gonna lie.
I was like,
How did you get here? No.
Like, kill him. Kill him. Definitely kill him. We're cool.
shade. Just shade left and right, ladies and gentlemen.
Ladies, let's put your 2 cents in.
Rubbed me the wrong way in the right way.
But you were like, well, we want to know what's going to happen.
That was cute.
We just want to say we love you all. Thank you so much for your support. You are all seriously the best in the world. and we
Another
appreciate
beautiful
you so
summer
much.
at the stream.tv, y'all.
Here we go, guys.
Thank you for being here. Peace out.
Bye, guys.
Hey guys, welcome back to the Big Bang Theory after show here at the stream.tv. We're gonna do some YouTube comments, live YouTube comments with Lexi right here.
Yes. Hey guys. So thank you so much for tuning in. Greatly appreciate it. And your comments are so great. So I'm on the live chat right now, and I have to shout out some names. Jaila Vincent. I hope I'm saying your name correctly. You've been very active on this, and I love it. You said first episode was hilarious. I think we can all agree on that.
Yes.
And then you asked us, what do you think Sheldon has planned to get Amy back? Because we spoke about that a little earlier, about the things he's so far done that he thinks are getting her back. However, he's had some more up his sleeve. What do you guys think?
I think if we know Sheldon well enough, then we know he's going to be doing some stupid things.
Yeah.
I think he's going to.
We can only hope.
He's going to offend some people along the
Absolutely.
way, and I think he's going to make her really, really mad before he gets her back. That's my opinion.
I think he's going to go into some sort of like some sort of equation. He's going to try to figure out how he can get her back in some sort of equation. That's just what he does.
Yes.
Clinical.
He's gonna, yeah.
Yes, yes,
He's
yes.
going to find out a scientific way of getting her back.
I just hope he keeps doing very awkward things, because for our
Always.
viewing pleasure. Hey, come on, that's how Amy fell for him. So he has to stay true to who he is.
I want to see them back together personally.
Yeah, well, I
hope it
personally think
happens.
they will. But on a more dark note, we have Trey Henry over here. And Trey, you wrote this question twice, okay? So you really want to know. Do you think Howard will die from assassins? What do you guys think?
I don't.
Sent by Sheldon.
Sent by Sheldon.
Sent by Sheldon.
Why would Sheldon want to kill Howard?
You know what? I think you, Trey, should write in and tell us.
You have to tell us why you think that.
Explain that, because it's a very interesting question. It's a little different, but I like it. I like your thought
I do have something to add to that, because they have had kind of a like a rivalry between them, and they had issues, but they kind of they settled that when they went to Houston. Remember?
Yeah.
When Sheldon went with him for the launch. When Howard went into space, they settled that. He took him. They were buddy
Right.
kind of again. So I don't know. My answer is no. He will not die of assassins from Sheldon.
And then last one, I got to go back to our girl Jyla. She asked us, what do you think is next for Penny and Leonard?
Well,
That's a big question, Jyla, but we want to speak about it.
I think that was kind of answered. No.
Did we answer it, Jyla?
I mean, they got back together,
Yeah.
but I think we're all hoping that.
Oh, it's pronounced Jayla. You're welcome, Jayla. She just wrote in. Thank you for still watching.
I think they move forward from here, and hopefully we get to see a big wedding later on.
Yeah,
There
the
has-
big wedding. That is what I think we want to happen next, is a broad, huge, elaborate affair. So thank you,
that would be
Jayla.
wonderful.
Yeah.
All right, moving on to
Okay,
our
some
Twitter questions with
so
Tia.
We just had some great Twitter questions. Thank you for tuning in. We have one from Utley2, and she asks, if Amy is so over Sheldon, why is she watching Fun with Flags?
Ah.
This is an interesting question. However, she did receive an email with a subject that said, this is going to make you mad. So that is why she was watching it. I think she's really trying to move on, and he's not letting her.
Well, was she curious? Because I mean, she didn't have to open it and watch
Yeah,
it.
she could have blocked him.
Because if she already knows it's going to make her mad, then why is she going to watch it?
But I mean, let's be honest. If someone sends you something and they say this is going to make you mad, you're going to watch it.
That's true.
You're going to watch it.
That's true.
What else we got?
And then this is sort of a Sheldonism sent by CMitch410. Sheldon says this in the episode. Well, if you want to see less of me, then maybe we should go out again.
That was great.
Which
That
is
was
so
great.
Sheldon to say. That's great.
Love it.
I like that one too.
Yeah, good to pick up on that. That was hilarious. We forgot about that one.
And then from Remdog105, we have Sheldon making out with Penny has to be the best thing I've seen out of The Big Bang Theory.
Yes.
We all agree with you. We all agree with you.
YouTube, we actually had a user, they want a video right now. Cole167, they're begging for that video of them making out. That's going to be in our dream sequences tonight, I think.
That was a huge moment. It's in a dream sequence, but it was a huge moment. So.
It was gigantic. Well, cool. Let's. We're going to move on to just a couple of Reddit threads here. Luna in Culta, this was a day ago, said, or a little bit ago actually, said, I see some funny and interesting future episodes with Sheldon and Amy being separated, but holy hell, I do not care about Leonard and Penny's relationship. It was an awful wedding episode that I'm sure is going to get annulled until the real wedding at the finale. Let's discuss this for a second.
Wow.
I agree that some of the things that are going to go down between Sheldon and Amy are going to be crazy.
Yes.
Yeah.
I care about Leonard and Penny.
Definitely.
Of course.
Right?
Yeah. I think we all do. I think it's been based on Leonard and Penny's relationship for such a long time, but now Sheldon has this relationship with Amy, and again, it's going through its growing pains, so we're going to see a lot of that. But I think Penny and Leonard, it's still a very, especially tonight's episode when they get back together, it's such a special relationship that they have.
I think it's one of those things when viewers that are annoyed by it, it's almost like when you have a friend that's on again, off again, on again, off again. You're like, okay. So they come to you with an issue and you're like, you're going to be back together.
Right.
I think it's more of the annoyance of like the boy who cried, what's up, the boy who cried blue? The boy who cried chicken?
Cried wolf.
Cried wolf!
Cried wolf.
The boy who cried chicken. I think it's kind of like that, guys. So on that note, I'm hungry.
It's we'll do one more from Galactic Goobers, and he gave actually a whole bunch of points, or she. I don't know if Galactic Goobers is a man or a woman, but I would assume
Galactic Goobers?
Galactic Goobers.
Oh, that's me. No.
That's got to be a dude.
Mom, stop typing on our thing.
So he says, on that subject, Leonard and Penny's relationship is becoming hard to stomach. Given the foundational basis their potential relationship was for this show, they could treat it as more than cold leftovers.
Ooh.
Here we finally get to, this is regarding last week's episode, we finally get to their wedding and it's completely anticlimactic. I mean, we've already had the extravagant wedding episode, but I expect a little more for Leonard and Penny. Then he talks about how they're fighting afterwards, and he doesn't think that they have chemistry. And
You don't have chemistry. It's the Big Bang Theory.
and
That's what this show is
and then
based on.
They're trying to he's saying that they're trying to get us into the happily ever after, and he thinks it's a cop out. What do we feel about that?
I think they tried not to do the happily ever after. I think that's why the episode last week was so maybe anticlimactic for what was the goobers?
Galactic Goobers, yes.
Because they're trying not to do what we think, how it's going to progress. Oh, they're just going to have this beautiful big wedding and this is how it's going to go. No, there was a little stop in the road. Now, for me, the little stop in the road was a little stop in the road. It wasn't that big of a deal, and I think they both were sort of sabotaging the getting married,
which they did talk about.
Yes.
Which they did discuss. Cool. Well, that's it for today. So go ahead and subscribe now to the Stream.tv and on YouTube, and continue to tweet us with the hashtag BigBangAS for After Show. I'm Adam Kruger. Lexi,
yeah, as
and
you said.
Tia Robinson.
And we'll see you next week. Thanks, guys. Thanks for watching.
Bye. Just love wins.
Hey, for more of the Big Bang Theory After Show, click that button and subscribe to the Stream.tv.